Hi, it's Faith at Anne and Paul's, and today I want to talk to you about my favourite new crafting product. This is mica powders. If you buy one of these sets from us, it's $13.99, and what you get in a set is 6 individual little pots of coloured powder. You get a lovely fine soft brush for putting the powder on, and you get a little mini mister, which you can fill with water to set the powder if you want to do stamping techniques. What I'm going to do today is a really lovely background technique using the micas with Tim Holtz's Distress Reinkers. So first off, I've got here a little die cut. I've cut this out from Paperbox's Premium Smooth White cardstock, which is a really nice quality cardstock. It's great for stamping, pro markers and distressing, and of course it's perfect for mica techniques. I've just used one of the X-Cut nesting dies. This is what they look like, and I've run it through the Big Shot to cut out that nice oval shape. So to begin with, I need a clear ink to put on for the mica powder to adhere to. I'm using Tim Holtz's Distress embossing ink because it's one of my favourites. It is such a nice, sticky, gooey, really good quality ink. So if you want to get a really good coverage on a background, it's perfect for that. So I've got my little ink applicator. I'm just going to dip that in, and using a circular motion, I'm just going to get a nice coverage on my white cardstock. Now the mica powders that I'm using are what they call interference powders. What that means is that they react with other colours that you mix them with. So when you put them onto white, they don't look very much at first, but when we mix in the distress ink, that's when they really come through, they really show, and they do look gorgeous. So, I'm going to go with the antique red. Here we go. This is the antique tones, the set that I'm using. It's all nice vintage tones, which I really like. So let me just open that up, and you can just see it's a nice fine pigment powder that you've got in there. So I'm going to dip my little brush in, and I'm just going to dab that directly onto my cardstock, making sure I get a good even coverage. Now as I said, at first this looks grey, but when it mixes in with another colour, wait and see what happens, because it really is very impressive. So I'm just going to brush off that excess, and I've got a nice coverage on my cardstock there. Now if I lift that up to the camera, hopefully you'll be able to see what these powders really do. When you see it straight on, it is grey, but as I turn it in the light, that beautiful vibrant red starts to come through. It really is gorgeously shiny. You have to see this to believe it. Now the colour that I'm going to mix it with is Black Soot Distress ink. What I've done, I've got myself a little mini mister. That's one of these. I've got an empty one here just so I can show you what I've done. I've filled it up with water up to the top of the swell, and then I've added 10 drops of Distress Reinker, which is this. This is Black Soot. These are actually designed for re-inking your distress pads, but there's all sorts of fun techniques you can do with them on their own. What you get is a little dropper bottle, so you just need to add 10 drops of Distress Reinker to your mini mister. So I've got my done one here, and I'm just going to give that a good shake. I'm just going to spray that directly onto my cardstock. You don't want too much here, you just want a little bit just to get it covered. Now you should be able to see, as that starts to dry, that dull colour that we had before comes through a beautiful silver grey, and the red mica powder is really going to come out. These are just lovely. I am so into making these at the moment. Now if I just lift that up for you, look at that. Look at that. Can you see that gorgeous shiny finish? And what you can do with these pieces of card, you can do all sorts of things. You can punch out of them, die cut out of them, make embellishments out of them, or you can use them in themselves as a background. We did a workshop recently on mica powders, and we've used this exact technique. Here's our card, and you can see it here, it's on the background here. If I turn that on the light, you can see how beautifully shiny that really is. That's the same antique red that I've just used on there. To make the background, we've done a simple stamping technique with the mica powders. It's really easy to do. We've just stamped with clear distress ink and dabbed on all sorts of different colours of mica powders, really mixed it up, and you end up with that gorgeous, gorgeous shiny finish. So yeah, I'm really into mica powders at the moment. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.